If you're eating healthy, but your kidney function keeps getting worse, it might not be your medication. It could be your vegetables. Yes, even some vegetables can quietly overload your kidneys and speed up the damage. But don't worry. In this video, we'll reveal 5 common vegetables that can actually harm your kidneys, especially if you already have kidney issues. These are not random tips. They're based on real research and trusted by kidney health experts. And the best part? You don't have to change your whole diet or spend money on fancy alternatives. These changes are simple. Just swap or reduce these veggies, and you might start feeling better within days or weeks. Take Sarah from Florida. She cut back on just 2 of these vegetables after watching our video. Within a month, her bloating went down, her GFR improved, and her doctor told her she was finally on the right path. Our channel is all about that, giving you real effective steps to protect your kidneys and avoid dialysis. Let's jump right in. Number 1. Spinach. It started with a salad. Linda, a 62-year-old nurse from Austin, Texas, had always considered herself pretty health conscious. Lots of greens, lots of veggies, especially spinach. She believed she was doing everything right. But after feeling constantly tired, bloated, and experiencing frequent urination at night, she finally went in for a checkup. The verdict: early signs of kidney stress. Her doctor gently asked her about her diet, and when she mentioned spinach smoothies and big leafy green salads every day, he nodded knowingly. Spinach, while packed with nutrients, was working against her kidneys. Linda was shocked, but also relieved to find a simple change could help. She swapped spinach for low oxalate greens, and within weeks, her energy came back, and her kidneys started functioning better. That one change made all the difference. So, let's talk about it. Spinach. Yep, that leafy green you've always been told is good for you. And it is, for most people. But if your kidneys are even slightly under stress, spinach can quietly make things worse. Here's why. Spinach is incredibly high in something called oxalates. These are natural compounds found in many plant-based foods. While harmless in moderation, oxalates become a problem when your kidneys aren't working at full capacity. They can bind with calcium in your body and form crystals, kidney stones. And if your kidneys are already vulnerable, too many oxalates can make it even harder for them to filter waste and stay healthy. The good news? You don't have to give up greens. You just need to choose the right ones. If you're someone who loves adding spinach to smoothies, salads, or cooked dishes, try switching to alternatives like kale, arugula, or romaine lettuce. These are much lower in oxalates and gentler on your kidneys. If you're really craving spinach, limit it to once or twice a week, and make sure it's cooked. Boiling it in water can reduce oxalate content by up to 80%. Just remember to throw out the water afterward, because that's where the oxalates go. Here's how to do it right. First, check in with your doctor if you have a history of kidney stones or chronic kidney disease. Then, start substituting spinach with lower oxalate greens in your meals. For example, make your salad base with romaine instead of spinach. In your smoothie, try kale or cucumber instead. And when cooking, opt for collard greens or bok choy. These swaps are kidney-friendly and still nutrient-rich. Important note: if you're on blood thinners like warfarin, always speak with your doctor before making big changes in leafy greens, as vitamin K levels vary and can affect your medication. But in most cases, reducing spinach can be a powerful move toward better kidney health. It's not about fear. It's about being smart. Like Linda, small changes like this can go a long way. So the next time you reach for that bag of spinach, think twice. Your kidneys will thank you. Number 2. Beets. A few months ago, Mark, a 54-year-old construction supervisor from Denver, was trying hard to eat healthier. After reading about the benefits of beets for blood pressure and heart health, he started juicing them every morning. For a while, he felt great, but then, things changed. He began noticing lower back discomfort, pinkish urine, and an unusual heaviness after meals. A routine checkup revealed something surprising. His kidney function had declined. His doctor asked about his diet, and when Mark mentioned his daily beet juice, the cause became clearer. Turns out, while beets do have benefits, for someone with even mildly stressed kidneys, they can cause more harm than good. When Mark cut down his beet intake and swapped them for safer vegetables, his kidney numbers began improving. No medications, no drastic lifestyle shifts, just a smarter approach to his plate. So here's the tip. Beets, while colorful and nutrient-rich, can be a hidden troublemaker for your kidneys, especially if you're eating them often. Like spinach, Beets are very high in oxalates, which are naturally occurring compounds that can contribute to kidney stone formation. If your kidneys are working perfectly, small amounts of beets may not be a big deal. But if you've had stones before, or if your kidney function isn't perfect, those oxalates can build up, bind with calcium, and form crystals. That's painful, and over time, it puts stress on your kidneys. The thing about beets is they often sneak into health trends. Juices, smoothies, roasted veggie bowls. But if you're consuming them regularly, your oxalate intake can skyrocket. The best approach? Limit how often you eat beets. Once or twice a week is usually safe for most people, especially if you don't have a history of kidney problems. And if you do eat them, avoid eating them raw. Cooking, especially boiling, can lower the oxalate content significantly. As always, toss the water used in boiling. Here's a simple guideline. If you love the earthy sweetness of beets, try swapping them with lower oxalate veggies like carrots or sweet potatoes. Want something vibrant in a salad? Try red bell peppers. If you enjoy beet juice, consider cutting it with cucumber or celery juice, which are much gentler on your kidneys. And most importantly, drink plenty of water. Hydration helps flush out any excess oxalates and supports your kidneys in doing their job. One safety note: beets can cause your urine or stool to look reddish. It's called beeturia, and it's harmless, but it can mask early signs of blood in the urine, which is a concern in kidney issues. If you're seeing pink and haven't eaten beets recently, get it checked. Remember, the goal here isn't to make you fear food, it's to help you choose wisely. Just like Mark, you don't need to give up everything you enjoy. You just need to understand what works best for your kidneys. And sometimes, avoiding a healthy food, like beets, can actually be the healthiest choice. Number 3. Tomatoes. Jessica, a 47-year-old mother of 2 from Phoenix, had always been proud of her cooking. Her pasta sauces were legendary among friends and family, and tomatoes were her go-to ingredient. She used them in everything: soups, stews, salads, even snacks. But after months of nagging fatigue, muscle cramps, and occasional swelling in her ankles, she decided to visit her doctor. The tests showed something she wasn't expecting. Her potassium levels were high, and her kidney function was slightly impaired. She was confused at first. She ate healthy, avoided junk food, and stayed active. But when she mentioned her tomato-heavy diet, her doctor raised an eyebrow. Tomatoes, while healthy for most people, can be risky for those with kidney concerns. When Jessica reduced her tomato intake and started rotating other ingredients into her recipes, her symptoms began to ease. No meds, no complicated treatments, just awareness. So here's the tip: be careful with tomatoes if you're trying to protect your kidneys. They're rich in vitamins and antioxidants, yes, but they're also high in potassium. That's great for heart health in most cases, but not when your kidneys can't filter potassium effectively. When potassium builds up in the blood, it can cause problems like irregular heartbeats, muscle weakness, or even dangerous cardiac events. And since tomatoes are used in so many forms, fresh, canned, juiced, or as sauces, it's easy to consume more than you realize. If your kidney function is already under pressure, or if you've been told to monitor your potassium, cutting back on tomatoes can make a real difference. The key is moderation. You don't have to eliminate them entirely unless advised by your doctor. But it's important to be mindful of how often you're eating them and in what form. For example, one raw tomato may not do much harm, but a cup of tomato sauce or tomato juice can spike your potassium intake quickly. Here's how to do it. First, check your potassium needs with your doctor, especially if you've had lab work showing early kidney stress. If you're trying to lower potassium intake, start by reducing tomato-based sauces in your meals. Use alternatives like red bell pepper puree, or even low-potassium white sauces made with herbs and garlic. For salads, skip the raw tomatoes and add cucumber or zucchini slices instead. When cooking, try using lemon juice, vinegar, or spices like paprika to replace that tangy flavor you'd usually get from tomatoes. And here's a pro tip: always read labels. Many store-bought tomato products, like sauces and soups, have added salt and potassium-based preservatives that can sneak up on you. Look for low-potassium or kidney-friendly versions. Or better yet, cook from scratch using safer ingredients. It's easy to overlook something as common as a tomato, but being kidney smart means thinking a little deeper about your choices. Just like Jessica, you don't have to lose your love of food, you just have to love your kidneys a bit more. Small swaps, mindful portions, and a little creativity in the kitchen can go a long way. Number 4. Sweet potatoes. A few weeks after his annual checkup, Derek, a 62-year-old retiree from Tampa, got a call from his doctor that left him confused. His blood work showed elevated potassium levels, and there were early signs of kidney stress. Derek was shocked. He exercised, stayed hydrated, and followed all the typical health advice. But during a follow-up discussion, his doctor asked a simple question. "What's your go-to side dish?" Derek laughed. "Sweet potatoes. I eat them almost every day. Baked, mashed, or cubed into salads." He thought he was making a smart, clean-eating choice. What he didn't realize was that sweet potatoes, while praised as a superfood, are also very high in potassium. For healthy kidneys, that's manageable. But for anyone with declining kidney function, it can quietly become a problem. Once Derek learned this and adjusted his meals, his potassium levels normalized within a month, and his energy returned. No supplements, no medications, just smarter food choices. So let's talk about it. Sweet potatoes. They're rich in fiber, beta-carotene, and complex carbs, and they taste amazing. But they also contain a surprisingly high amount of potassium, more than 500 milligrams per medium sweet potato. That's a big load for kidneys that are already struggling. When your kidneys can't filter potassium efficiently, it builds up in your blood, leading to fatigue, weakness, tingling, or more serious heart-related issues. This doesn't mean sweet potatoes are bad, but they can become a hidden risk if you're not paying attention. If you've been told to follow a low-potassium diet, or you've had kidney stones, swelling, or unusual tiredness, sweet potatoes might be one of the silent contributors. The good news? You don't have to give them up entirely. You just need to enjoy them wisely. Here's how to do it. First, reduce your portion size. If you typically eat a whole sweet potato, try half instead. Second, use the double boil method. It helps pull out extra potassium. To do this, peel and cut the sweet potatoes into cubes, boil them for 10 minutes, drain the water, and then boil again in fresh water until soft. This can reduce potassium content significantly. After boiling, you can season lightly and serve. Avoid frying or baking them whole if you're trying to limit potassium. That method retains more of the nutrient. You can also swap sweet potatoes occasionally with lower potassium sides like white rice, cauliflower mash, or steamed green beans. These choices give your kidneys a break while still keeping meals satisfying and nutritious. And if you're craving that sweet potato flavor, even a small portion as an occasional treat is perfectly fine. Just don't make it a daily habit. One last note. If you're taking potassium supplements or certain medications like ACE inhibitors, talk to your doctor before adding potassium-rich foods like sweet potatoes. Too much of a good thing can quietly work against your health goals. Just like Derek, you might be doing everything right, eating clean, avoiding junk, but when your kidneys are under stress, even healthy foods need a second look. The real win isn't just in eating healthy, it's in eating smart for your body. And sometimes, that means choosing a little less sweet to keep your kidneys a whole lot safer. Number 5. Mushrooms. Anna, a 55-year-old yoga instructor from Portland, had always followed a plant-based diet. She prided herself on her clean eating habits. No fast food, no soda, and everything organic. Her favorite lunch? A warm mushroom stir-fry with brown rice and greens. She ate it nearly every day, believing it gave her energy and kept her body balanced. But over time, she started experiencing mild fatigue, swelling in her hands, and a strange metallic taste in her mouth. Concerned, she got some lab tests done. The results showed her creatinine levels were elevated, an early sign that her kidneys were under strain. When she consulted a nutritionist, they looked closely at her diet. The culprit? Mushrooms. Anna was stunned. How could something so healthy be causing issues? But once she reduced her intake and adjusted her meals, her energy came back, and her kidney function stabilized. It wasn't about quitting mushrooms forever. It was about understanding their effect. So let's break it down. Mushrooms, while full of nutrients like B vitamins and antioxidants, also come with two concerns for kidney health: potassium and purines. Mushrooms are moderately high in potassium, which can become dangerous when kidneys can't remove the excess. But even more importantly, they contain purines, natural compounds that break down into uric acid in your body. When kidneys are working well, uric acid gets filtered out. But when kidney function is reduced, uric acid can build up, leading to problems like gout or kidney stones. This is especially risky if you already have a history of high uric acid or are in the early stages of kidney disease. That doesn't mean mushrooms are off limits, but it does mean portion control matters. If you love mushrooms, you don't need to give them up entirely. You just need to enjoy them in smaller amounts and less frequently, maybe once or twice a week, instead of daily. And it's better to avoid the heavily sautéed or salty mushroom dishes often served at restaurants, which pile on extra sodium and fat, further stressing your kidneys. Here's a safer way to enjoy them. Stick to fresh, white button mushrooms rather than dried shiitake or portobello varieties, which tend to have higher concentrations of purines. When cooking, steam or lightly stir-fry them in olive oil with kidney-friendly herbs like parsley, thyme, or rosemary. Skip the heavy sauces and always pair them with low-potassium vegetables like cabbage, bell peppers, or zucchini to balance your plate. Also, keep in mind that canned or preserved mushrooms often contain added salt, which can spike your sodium intake, a major issue for people trying to protect kidney function. Always choose fresh when possible. And if you're using canned mushrooms, rinse them thoroughly under running water before cooking. Anna's story is a perfect reminder that even the most health-conscious eaters need to tailor their diet to their body's current needs. Mushrooms may be a superfood in general, but for your kidneys, moderation is key. You're not giving up your favorites. You're giving your body the chance to heal. And that, in the long run, is the smartest habit of all. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps us reach more people who need this information. And for more awesome updates about kidney health and simple tips that can truly make a difference, you should absolutely subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. And take care of those kidneys. That's all for today. Or